Welcome to ShareUp. In this video, I'll guide you through the Open Response Assessment or ORA. We'll cover what ORAs are, how to set them up, how students experience them, and new management tools to simplify your workflow. Now, let us start by adding an ORA component. So whenever you want to add an ORA component, what you can do is from this, you can select the Open Response. Once you click here, you can see that there are different types of assessment, which are peer assessment, self-assessment, self and peer assessment, self to staff assessment, and staff assessment only. Now, first, let's select peer assessment only. You will see something like this, and from here, what you can do is you can click on the edit button, and now over here you can write your prompt. Okay, now enter your essay or project prompt. You can add multiple prompts by clicking over here. For example, require both writing answer and a file upload, such as a PDF or image. Be sure to specify any word limit or file size restriction, and remember this version of ShareUp allows up to 500 MB in total files per submission. Okay, next let's design the rubric for grading. If you click onto the rubric, okay, so you see that for each criterion, add a name such as, in this case, the criterion name is idea, and a specific description of what you will be looking for. For example, we have this is the description of the idea, and once you are done with that, what you can do is you can add, for each criterion you can add several options, like for example, the criterion name is idea. According to that, you can set option as poor, fair, and good, or you can set as excellent, good, and needs improvement, and describe what each level means. And once each level, you can describe what each level means, and then once you are done with that, you can assign a point value to each option. As you can see over here, you can assign any value. Okay, so yeah, and another option is you can like get feedbacks for each criterion, so you can set it to none, optional, or required. If you select required, then the feedback must be given. And also if you want to add any more options or criterion, you can click on the add button and then add it on. And the other setting that we have is schedule. Now schedule is the deadline configuration. Over here at the top we have three sets of options from which we can select. First, we have configure deadline manually, then match the deadline to the subsection due date, or match the deadline to the course end date. So if you select the first one, what you need to do is you have to select the start date and the end date or due date. next assessment steps. So here you have different assessment steps from where you can select. You can select the learner training, peer assessment, and self-assessment, and then staff assessment. So you can't only select self-assessment, but what you can do is you can select first two options and this staff assessment, or self-assessment and staff assessment. But you can enable peer assessment, self-assessment, and staff grading, or staff assessment. If a learner doesn't receive enough peer reviews, suppose if you have selected the peer assessment, after 7 days, the requirement will automatically drop to 30%, so nobody is stuck waiting for the assessment. Now, if you go to the setting, display name, you have different types of settings from which where you can set whatever you want to, or allow whatever you want to. Now from here you see these job responses. You can have the option to enable the job responses. What it does is this lets students to see high scoring submission once their own work is in. So over here, if we set to 2 to 3 job responses, what they'll get to see, what the learner get to see is the top 3 assessment response they get. And now once we are done with everything, you can click onto the save button. And before this, what you can do is you can preview it and see how it will look like to the student. So over here we had selected the due date. We have set the default due date which was given in the open response. We can select that, we can change that as well. And whenever someone wants to submit the assignment, they can respond over here, and then they can select the submit your response and move to the next step. So here you can see all the assessment and the gradings and the options for the job responses as well. So once after submitting, after submission of the responses, student follow steps you set up, like as you can see all the steps that I had set up. And so if I had if the author had included a training step, they will review sample responses first. If peer grading is enabled, they will be assigned anonymous peer responses to review using a rubric for fairness. For self-assessment, they will rate their own submission, and for staff grading, this work goes to the author or the team of the organization who is responsible for assessing the open response. Once all assigned assessment are complete, students see their overall grade, and if you allow it, top responses from their peers will be also shown over here. Now, best practices to use the open response assessment will component assessment, or the component will be start with a practice ORA to so learners understand your expectations, and then keep your rubric clear and concrete. Use up to 1 ORA per unit for best performances. So what it like I had mentioned over here, do not add multiple ORA assignment in a single unit to avoid submission errors. With these tools and best practices, you'll be fully equipped to design engaging and effective open response activities in your in ShareUp. And thanks for watching and happy teaching.